Hi there folks, Borislav247 here with another Days Gone Horde video. And on this video I'm going to show the 6 easiest kill locations that still work for taking out the Sawmill Horde on the new Days Gone Remastered version. Because I have had an awful lot of requests to do a video like this, given that one or two of the previous locations, in fact one that really pains me because I discovered it, that simply do not work anymore because they have been patched. But these particular 6 most certainly have not, and are still a fantastic way for taking out this particular horde. So let's get right to it. Right then, the first thing that you will notice is for all 6 of these locations that I end up going to, I always start from the one spot, which is on this bridge that overlooks the sawmill. I just wanted to do this so that it makes it easy for people to follow exactly where I am going when I'm going to each particular location. Right then, the first easy kill location is not very far away at all from where I'm starting here. Just head a little bit further along this road. Now when I get to this section, no, it's not those rocks there. It pains me to say that that particular easy kill location is no longer available. However, the rocks over to the right of it, yeah, there is a way to get onto them. I will actually show the method in which to get onto them once I've attracted the horde. Now, I don't actually think it's a difficult climb, but if you're a little bit on the nervous side about trying to do this particular one, just take the time to practice before going down for the horde. Now I've got the horde's attention, yeah, I kind of want to move sharpish to this top section, but I do have a little bit of time on my hands, so just going to line the bike up right here. I'm not even going to bother with any acceleration, just going to walk up the rocks there. And as you start walking up, just make sure to turn to the left as you're doing that. Now from here, you're doing a little bit of air walking. Just keep going very slow, and then Deacon will eventually fall onto this rock. And this is the perfect kill location. They just cannot get to you here, and they are all lined up so well. And by the way, you will get the entire horde coming over to this location. So there is no need to come away from this area in order to get them again, like one of the other rock areas that I will show in a bit. But right now I'm just going to town on them with Chicago Chopper. At this stage in the game, especially if you are taking on the horde when you're supposed to, yes, you will have the luxury of being able to use napalm molotovs. But if you decide to take on this horde early, because you can go after the Sawmill Horde as soon as you get to Lost Lake, do remember this. The red bar that I have the luxury of seeing here, which shows the percentage of the horde that's still remaining, you will not see that if you go for this horde early. And not only that, you will get no confirmation that you've actually taken them out in any way, shape or form, so do be aware of that as well. But yeah, I don't think that there's that many more of them, so once I get them all over to this area, then yeah, I'm just going to make very light work of them by just hitting them hard with some napalm molotovs. Some numbers now are already well depleted. From all of these easy kill locations, you do have the luxury of either going to town on them with ideally molotovs or just guns. Just whatever works for you. Most people will probably just take them out with guns because you save on all your resources, especially if you're taking on this horde early game. Now, I've just about got them all taken care of here, but I do not have survival vision I can use to check on roughly how many are left here, because I'm playing this on Survivor 2 difficulty. So this is probably overkill here, but yeah, I'm going for another napalm molotov. And because I am actually taking on the mission, when taking up this horde, I will get the prompt on screen telling me that the job is done. Right now, I know there's not that many left, and given that I've got a Chicago chopper, yeah, makes light work of them. And there we go, full truck with creosote. So, that is it. However, there is still one slight problem here. The bike is right at the very top there on the rocks, but there is an easy way to get it down off there. Just bring up the map, move the cursor over to the bike, and you will get a recover bike option. Just confirm that that is what you want to do, and then all of a sudden the bike is ready to rock and roll. And that is it. Method 1 done and dusted. Right then, on to method number 2, and this is what I call the rock ledge. Because when you climb this particular rock, my god, it looks like it was just made for horde killing. It has a fantastic area at the top of this rock section that you can park your bike on, and you have a lot of options with this particular area. Now, I'm just going to climb up the rock face there, and once I get to the top, look at this. This is bloody fantastic. Now, what I like to do is, once I actually get the horde, is to park that bike quite close to the rock face, so that Deacon has, well, he can only get off on one side, but it gives you plenty of room to move about on that rock, because there is a superb advantage that you get from this particular location. You can move the horde about. But the only thing I would say against this particular method is that you're not going to get the entire horde up to your location. It is a two-parter, this. But given that the climb is an exceptionally easy one, it's definitely one worth showing. And by the way, PC users, if you're looking to climb up these rocks, do make sure to press the caps lock button first on the keyboard before attempting to climb up the rocks. Apparently, this disengages the clutch. So, now, I'm going to start by staying in this position because all of the horde are going to head over to this section, which is fantastic for taking them out. Not only that, the line of sight that you get when they're running up the hill this way is just insane. But just going with a Chicago chopper here because it's just super fast firing. At this stage in the game, everybody should have this weapon, but now I'm going to move the horde. Just move over to this area of the rock all of a sudden. That's it. Move over here, and they're just setting themselves up nicely for some throwables. And this is one location that you can actually get away with throwing grenades and pipe bombs. You're high enough up that you're not going to get hit by the blast. For the sake of just taking them out reasonably quickly, I'm going to napalm molotovs here. But yeah, given that I've got close to half the numbers here, I am eventually going to have to come off this section to get the other half of the horde. But when I get them in small enough numbers, yes, I like to bring them back over here so that I can see exactly what I've got left. It's very handy when you get any rock position when you can actually move about and move the horde. Especially if you're playing on Survival 2 and you can't actually see how many there are. Now, that's just about all of them, but I am hearing one about somewhere. I'm just not seeing the freaker in question. So, okay. Let's just get off here. And it's just a quick reverse. Throw the bike around. Yep, and let's go and get the second part of this horde. Once I've got this last freaker, of course. There we go. Okay, so it's just a case of rinse and repeat. You'll normally find that the Horde is actually walking back in at this point, yeah. So that's fine, just a little bit more gunfire. And this will get the last of them. And for anyone that is questioning whether I am definitely playing this on Days Gone Remastered version, just check out the custom gas tank that is on this bike. You simply cannot get that if you're playing on any other version, so I just thought I'd point that out. And here they come. So this time I'm going to look to get them over into this area here. Although I am getting one or two on that top section. Yeah, there we go. They're moving now. And this is just for speed purposes, because they really do bunch up so nicely below this location. So yes, napalm molotovs shall be used. Now, of all the methods that I'm showing on this video, there is only 3 that I am using a rock location in order to get the job done. 2 of the methods that I'm going to show later on, most people will be very aware of. And one of my personal favourites that I discovered, I will also be showing, that involves the Nero site at the back. But right now, I'm just looking to take out the last of this Horde, and I'm doing it by moving over to this section of the rocks so that I can see exactly what left I've got to kill. And there we go. I get the screen prompt, fill the truck with creosote, that is it, job done. And don't even have to worry about a recover bike option. I can simply bring the bike off. And there we go, what a glorious sight. Oh, and I just happen to have a reacher in the equation here. No problem. One smoke bomb. We'll take care of this one. I do have the executioner skill in place, so as most people will at this stage in the game. But there we go. There's always something to contend with in Days Gone. But that's it. Method number 2, done. Right then, on to method number 3, and this is what I like to call the back rock, because the rock in question is at the very back of the sawmill. Now, I've shown this in one of my videos before, but there is going to be a slight difference with this particular method, because there's a much easier way to get onto this particular rock than what I have shown in a previous video. So it makes the job so much easier. In a previous video I had gotten to the rock from a completely different direction that was actually quite difficult to get right, and because of this I actually would set up the bike getting ready for climbing up this rock, but you don't have to worry about that now, because if you just approach the rock from that side, it's as simple as that. Really not much to it at all. Let's say in a previous video I had Deke getting onto that rock from the other side, and it is a much harder climb. The one that I now show, yeah, far easier. So just going to have the bike turned round, because I will be using it to get back over there, but I want to get the attention of this lot. So, you know what, might as well just get a bit of height here. And not only that, but I can take out a few of the Horde. Why not? That should do it. Yes, here they come. And another advantage for this particular method is that I will get the entire Horde coming over to this position. So once I'm on the rock, it's all good. And I like to have the bike round about there, because I want to get to the high spot on this rock section. Now, it is not impossible for this lot to get to this position, or at least one or two of them, so you do kind of have to be on point with your shooting from time to time. If you just happen to see a few that are getting close, just make sure to take them out with gunplay, because it's not the highest of locations. And when they're doing the World War Z style tactics, yeah, if you're not careful, you will get one or two of them that'll get up there and give you problems. Because if they knock you off from here, you're dead. So, yeah. Also make sure, this is common sense, but bring plenty of med kits and whatnot with you. You don't have the luxury of being able to do a dive roll when on the rocks here in order to extinguish your flames. So if you do take any fire damage, you've just got to stand there and take it. But normally you don't take too much damage anyhow. And yeah, they're coming up in a nice file here, so taking advantage of this. Once I get a nice group of them at the very top here, then yes, I'm going to go with the napalm molotovs again. But as I've said before, you always have the option. You don't have to, you can just take them out completely with gunplay. And if you're taking on this horde early, as soon as you get to Lost Lake, you will not have napalm molotovs to use, unless you're playing this on IG Plus, of course. But yeah, although you don't get any confirmation, I do recommend you take on this horde early, because it's 500 free careers that you get your hands on. And when you first get to Lost Lake, yeah, they are needed. Free careers are very welcome indeed. But anyways, I'm down to a very small number, and because of this, I'm moving to a different position on the rock here. And of course, I can now see exactly what is left to kill. And there we go. That's it, job done. No need for a recover bike option here. Just get off there. And then just head over and take a look at my work. Very nice. Okay, on to method number 4. Right then, method number 4 is one of my all-time favourites, and this involves getting to the Nero site at the very back and getting your bike on top of a particular tent. Now, there is 2 ways in order to get the bike into this area. I am going to show the quick way, first of all. You do need to have a bit of speed on your bike in order to get this done. At the very least, you really need to have some nitros in order to get the job done. If you actually have nitros, you can probably do this with a level 1 engine. I'm pretty sure I remember doing this with a level 1 engine, sorry. Here, my bike's pretty much maxed, so there's not going to be any issues at all. But that's how you get into this Nero section. So, once you're in here, the next stage is to get the bike's front wheel on top of that box. And you do this by giving yourself a wee run up. Start with the acceleration, but then let go of the accelerator so that the bike is freewheeling. And when it hits that box, it'll just bump up nicely. Once you have it in that position, that's it, you're golden. All you need to do now is to head over to over to this section and get the horde's attention. Very similar to the previous method, but obviously you don't have the bike to get yourself away a little bit quicker. Hence why you want to have the bike all ready to rock and roll. So again, just get their attention and obviously getting a few kills while I'm at it. But that's it. At this point I'm running. If you don't have a deacon with good stamina, make sure to use a stamina cocktail, because they're never actually that far behind you here. I like to park the bike round about there, and then yeah, it's just a case of, as always, you can take them out however you like. And given the fantastic line of sight that you have here, yeah, it's never a bad option to just go mad with the guns. Yeah, so far so good. Now, again, this is a location where you don't have to worry about heading back over in order to get the rest of the horde. You will get the entire horde coming over to this position. So, yeah, makes the job a very easy one indeed. Yeah, congregate very nicely below you there, so always worth throwing any kind of Molotov down there. And one other thing, I did show this on a previous video, but you can potentially bring this entire horde over here without even having to go over to them, because the Nero site here has a great number of speakers. Now, normally when you want to open up a Nero site, yes, you want to make sure that all these speakers are taken care of and keep things very quiet, but potentially here all you need to do is grab a petrol tank, go over to the generator, fill it up, and then set it off. Every speaker will start blaring, and you will get this horde over to this position quite quickly. So that's another thing to consider. But right now, yeah, I'm taking out the majority of this horde with gunplay. Why not? But this will whittle down the numbers. And again, you do have the luxury in this particular location that you can manipulate the horde by moving around. Now, I don't recommend that you move from this area until you've got them in very small numbers, because the other side of this tent area, yeah, if there's enough of them, they can actually get to your position. Doesn't happen very often, but why take the chance? So now I'm just moving around here, and that's perfect. I'm just getting the last of them here. And my god, surprisingly, there's still a few heading over. There we go. Full truck with creosote. Now, again, in order to get the bike out of this site, just bring up the map, use the recover bike option, and all of a sudden the bike will be moved to outside the Nero site. And normally where the game will put your bike is roughly from the area that you actually jumped over in order to get into the Nero site. So yeah, it's a bit of a run here. But I'm not finished with this particular location yet, because if you don't have a bike that's quick enough to get into the Nero site via jumping, there is another way in which to get the job done. And yes, you'll probably have guessed this already, but it involves opening up the Nero site. So, it's always good to show this, but for this particular demonstration, I am going to make sure that I have suppressed weapons. Now, there is two speakers that are on the lighting systems. That one that I've taken out there first is the one that everybody normally misses the first time they attempt to open up this Nero site. But just for a little bit of speed here, I'm going to take all of the speakers out with bullets here. Now, there's no fuses required for this particular site, so it is quite literally just making sure that you get all the speakers. I do not want to leave any speakers intact because I want this to be quiet. Because once I've got this Nero site opened, then I can show exactly how I'm going to get the bike into this section. But need a petrol can first of all. Get this generator going, and then, yeah, then I'll show exactly how to get into this section.
That's it. Yeah, now we're in business.
So there we go. And it all involves this building right here.
There really better be something in here with all this trouble.
You just need to open the doors and then bring the bike round and ride through this particular building. These doors will close at points, but don't worry about that. They can easily be opened again. So now I've just got to go and get the bike. And yeah, do you know what? I'm going to take care of this breaker first. Again, smoke bomb, one of the best weapons you can get in your arsenal, especially when coupled with executioner skill. Makes light work of any of some of the toughest enemies in the game. But in order to get around this section, just use that area there to climb over. And then, of course, it's a little bit on the narrow side here, but that's okay. Just got to take my time here. Yeah, this door on the other side has closed, but that's okay. Get that open, and there we go. If you do not have a quick bike, that is the way in order to get the bike onto this section of the Nero site. And would you bloody Adam and Eve it? Okay. Take that, you fucker. Yes, it's the Days Gone world. You're always going to get surprises. So again, in order to get the setup, little run up. Start with the accelerator, then take your hand off the accelerator. Just let the bike freewheel onto that box. Once that front wheel is up, job done. Right then, just two more methods left to show, and both of these methods are very well known areas indeed. This method is what I call the wood trap ledge, and this is the easiest way in order to get this started. One of the few that does not require the use of the bike. Now, I'm just looking to see where the horde is first of all. They're not in the pig section here, so this is how I'm going to get the jump on this lot. Because I need to run this way, get up here, get into position, and very important, it's got to be in that top left section right there. If you're not standing there, then yeah, you will get problems. But that's it, now that I'm in place, just a few gunshots. Obviously the horde is very nearby, so it doesn't take long before they realise where they need to be heading in order to get there. And look at this. Again, it's a common sense thing here, but do not use grenades or pipe bombs because you will be blasted off this section. Napalm Molotovs are very good, but you do have to keep on point with shooting as well. From time to time, you might get a visitor that manages to get onto this position. It can happen, it's very rare. Like I said, if you are keeping on top of the gunfire with them, then yeah, it's all good. But yes, you do tend to take a bit of fire damage here, so make sure you have bandages and medkits at ready. Especially if your character has as little in the way of health as what mine does here. And again, you don't have to move from this position. The entire horde will come over to this area, so you can just merrily flood away from this location. Don't go again with more Molotovs, just to speed the process up. But the choice is yours where to take them. Get some kind of health back here. Well, actually, I haven't taken that much damage. But as you can see, I don't have that much health to start with. So let's just remedy this. This particular method has been used for a long time. And is one of the favourites for many player. But now, because I know I don't have that many left, yes, I'm going to move away from that top corner, just so that I can see the remaining freakers that I've got to take out. And there we go. Job done. Just one left to show. Right then, last but definitely not least is method number 6, the building corner ledge. Now, the actual position of where you are on this location is critical, because if you're not in the right spot, then you're not safe. So, just going to make my way over to this particular spot, and it's this building right here. So, just a few climbs here. Now, at this point here, very slowly walk until you get onto that ledge. But you need to be right in this corner here. If you're not, you will get company. So, now that you know where it is, it's time to get the Horde over here. And you can actually get them over here by creating some noise from this section. This will do it. So, for once I'm going to use an attractor just to get their numbers out in a big way. Can even take the time here to take out a few of the numbers as well. It's another spot where you can take out the entire Horde without having to leave the area, so always a huge advantage when you can do this. And of course this one, you have the luxury that you can be in that position there for quite some time before having to get to the easy kill location. And doing it this way, you have plenty of time to get into position. And there we go. Even if you have to fire a few shots in order to get them over. Now, if there is any up there, that's fine, just shoot them. But here we go. Didn't have to wait long. Now, you can get away with using grenades and pipe bombs here, but you really need to be throwing them out quite a bit at the end of the crates section there. Personally, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not worth the risk, because you can be blasted off this ledge, and if you do, it's just about certain death because you're falling down into a mass of freakers. Unless you're exceptionally lucky, you ain't getting over that lucky. So just hitting them hard with napalm Molotovs here. Why not? I have them. These are now, one big disadvantage with this particular location is, of course, that because the bike is nowhere nearby, then if you do run out of ammunition and resources, yeah, you're going to have to move from this position. But if you take them on near the end of the game, when you have weapons with a lot of ammo capacity, then you're not going to have this problem. And especially if you happen to have some of the patches that you can get off the Days Gone challenges. The likes of one of the patch perks that you can get from the Ambush Campers challenge is +3 bullet penetration. So if you have that, you're really going to make light work of these creepers when they're bunched up like this when you start using ranged weapons. And yes, this particular kill location is probably the most well known. So right now, let's just take care of these last stragglers. I have the luxury of that red bar up there, so it gives me a good idea as to what is left. In this case, not that much. The other giveaway, of course, is that when you start to hear a lot less noise from the Horde, yeah, you know there's not that many left of the numbers. Just a couple of normal Molotovs here. And there we go. That is, although there is another freaker down here, that's the job done. And that's it. That's 6 fantastic methods that still work on the Days Gone Remastered version. And that brings me nicely to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, folks, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Take care.